Okay, if you're not fully caught up with Doctor Who, that is finished with Season 8 with Peter Capaldi, this video will contain spoilers. I did a video way back a while ago, right after Peter Capaldi had announced his Doctor Who-ness to the world, that he had just been cast in the pivotal role of the Doctor. In the video I talk about his previous acting prowess and my worry for the shallow Doctor Who fans that would be put off by the fact that he's a little bit older than some of the most recent actors that played the Doctor. Eccleston was 41 years old when he took the role. Tennant was 35. Matt Smith was 26. Progressively younger. So I was a little bit apprehensive and worried, not about the job that he would do, but about the possible backlash of fans hating him just because of his age, but then kind of growing to like him, kind of like after Tennant left, Smith took the role, everybody's like, no, Smith, I hate this guy, I don't even know anything about him, and then after a while people are like, oh, Smith, I love this guy, ha! I kind of hoped that that is what was going to happen with Peter Capaldi. And in my opinion, Peter Capaldi is killing it. But right before hitting record for this video, I decided to do a little bit more research, and I found a Peter Capaldi poll. I know, an online poll is probably not the most reliable cross-section of information. The poll had 1,360 votes of people that said that they loved him, 400 votes of people who said they need a little bit more time, and over 4,000 votes of people that said that they hate him. They hate him. I don't think that's fair. That is not fair at all. His first season just ended, and it ended on a high of over 7 million views. People still care. Okay, so why do I think that Peter Capaldi is killing it as the Doctor? Here's the rundown. He's incredibly alien, and he's not like kooky alien like Matt Smith. He calls humans pudding brains, and he can never tell when Clara is being all dolled up for something. He doesn't recognize human beauty. And he's definitely not a hugger. The humor is very different with Capaldi. It's not really anything we've seen in recent Doctors. He's kind of mean, brash, and very point blank. Old ladies die all the time. It's practically their job description. Wow. You hear that and it kind of makes you a little uncomfortable because you're like, that's kind of funny, but I don't know if I should laugh at that. It's a very dry, black sense of humor. He doesn't really do the physical humor like previous Doctors, and I think that's one of the huge defining characteristics of this Doctor, is that he's not so physical. He's not in your face, but he's very witty and he's intense. Capaldi can say more with a look than I think that Tennant and Smith could say with a minute of dialogue, which brings me to the eyebrows. All the way since his first appearance in the 50th anniversary special, the show has focused on them eyebrows. He can go from nutty and confused to moody and menacing in a split second. Nope, they don't work for me. The tone of the show is much darker now. There's a lot of death. They talked about cremation. That one episode was called Death in Heaven, and I feel like it works more with Capaldi than it could have with Tennant or Smith. Eccleston might have been able to pull it off, but he was also kind of like a there is hope Doctor, and Capaldi doesn't really do that, so I feel like Capaldi's the choice. I hate this Doctor. He's abusive to Clara and everyone else around him. I want more silly Smith. Now listen here, you. I'm a big fan of Matt Smith's Doctor. But in Season 7, when Amy and Rory left, and he wasn't kooky anymore, that was really interesting to me. I really liked watching that. It was depressing, sure, but it was refreshing. It was refreshingly depressing, which is a slogan that no product should ever use. Okay, here's the thing. The Master has always been angry. The Master has let his past affect him and his current situation, and his anger, and his anguish, and his rah. The Doctor has a bleak, awful past that he's tried for so long to just forget about, to run away from, to move on from, but it's still there. I feel like Capaldi's Doctor has a reasonable amount of anger built up inside of him. Recent Doctors have been childlike, with a sense of innocence, full of emotion, magic, things like that. The norm has become to have a very likable, everything's peachy keen Doctor. Whereas if you look at Doctor Who, from the beginning, Capaldi's Doctor is more so the norm than Smith's Doctor was. A lot of people are complaining that this is now a show about Clara and her love life and just featuring the Doctor, but I feel like Clara has this vigor and personality and a hands-on-ness that she didn't previously have. Sure, you can cite that the moon being an egg is really dumb, or that the gold bow and arrow couldn't do that thing, or that the Master is now Missy. Ooh, blasphemy. That's a topic for a different video. But those don't really have anything to do with Peter Capaldi. If you want to hate on the writing or the storytelling, sure, you can do that. But make sure that you're hating on the writers, letting the writers know that they're not up to snuff with what you think that they should be doing. don't blame the actors for just reading the lines and acting out the parts. There were a few dud episodes in Capaldi's first series, but no more than in season 7 with Smith. The references, the characters, the intertwining storylines, the villains have all been fantastic with Capaldi's series. I can't think of a single episode that doesn't have multiple references or callbacks to previous classic Doctor Who episodes. Capaldi is doing a great job, and from what I'm hearing, this next season of Doctor Who is going to be very different than the previous Capaldi season, where Capaldi's actually coming more into his own on how he wants to act as the Doctor, and how the Doctor is getting a little bit more comfortable with everything going on around him. Love him or hate him, you have to admit that Peter Capaldi has a very unique take on the Doctor, and you cannot deny that he has been a super fan since he's been a child. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of Peter Capaldi and what you're looking forward to in this next season of Doctor Who. I'm really excited. I work with people that don't really like this previous season of Doctor Who, and we can't talk about it at work because fisticuffs. Fisticuffs would happen. Also, if you're a big David Tennant fan, I did a video last week about David Tennant and Chew and an animated series, and David Tennant doing voice work for it, so if you want to check that out, there's a link down there. As always, my name is Travis. Thank you for watching this video. Links to my socials are down below where you can follow me if you so desire, and you'll see more of me later. Bye!